Niswing ba sa kanji kon Meghalaya News 24 channel ni dingtang manjaga ba khobor na remchak suwa Meghalaya Sorkari Assam Sorkari ni sima ari ni bidingo thari man gaman ko sa soi kha a ni Dr. Mukul Sangma matnang ya ganang ha NPP led MDA Sorkari tugi dukunar abaga pa a maina wamang Assam aro Meghalaya ni sima ari ko meligrike soi kha gaman memorandum of understanding MOU ko jegale jakhu dina makmang ba je chaka ha ne All India Trinamool Congress AITC aganang ha daoya Sorkari ni Meghalaya ni mandirang ko chaboke duk sa khna una rabai nganiera gisek gri dake kham kha ani chi khura sakani gri gpa on baksana tribal mandirangko wara sakna gisek nanggi jania noa ane opposition dalgpa Dr. Mukul Sangma kubur chungparang na but persalo agananga ha Assam baksa sima arini gaman soi khagrke dam kholgruk katham rangoni dam kholgruk sa di Meghalaya onar ibaha ne Chief Minister Khonra Sangma agananga ha yani bidingo Dr. Mukul ni aganani de Assam de songni ritingrangko badia gapa Meghalaya chi re anggen badia gapa Assamo donggen wa gemuko thari donmani sa MOU ko soi kha ha andiba Meghalaya de mamung thari samsuwa gri sa soi khamang mangaya ha Assam Chief Minister Biswa Sarma JNB aprangni gaman chi MOE itihas rangni gaman gapa aro uni dakteleng meteng sumayo Meghalaya ramai ko thari samso hacham ane Dr. Mukul doani ko takkan baksana wamang belong ing metengo ong ani gemensa ya sima ari ni gemen soi khagrkanga ha ane bawa akananga ha.
See, in democracy, when we fight to protect the interests of our people and our state, and we don't give up, we prevail, we win. Why are we discussing about this border issue now? Because the people of the state did not accept earlier whatever was demarcated by Survey of India based on the whole notification, based on the Northeast Reorganization Act 1971. It was never accepted, and that's why it is still there. Now we don't accept. We will not accept. The people are not accepting. So for whom are you trying to resolve it? On whose behalf?
So the MOU signed between Assam and Meghalaya is awaiting for the final stamp of the Parliament. So what step would your party take to ensure that this MOU is revoked?
We will protest. We will keep on protesting to ensure that all the signatories in this MOU take cognizance of the sentiment of the people. What we are speaking, what we are sharing through media, and also people who are affected, and the people who belong to the, I must say, people who have the collective ownership over the land, all the stakeholders. It is not only coming from Dr. Mukul Sangma. It is not only coming from my political party. You have seen what has happened yesterday in front of the Secretariat. Is it not a fact that these headmen and all other leaders represent our people? And they are empowered by what? By our customary practice, customary law, based on the constitutional provision which has allowed these powers to be vested upon our people under the overall customary laws and practices. Now, I was wondering why the Chief Minister didn't give an audience to these important people during this crisis moment. I think it's important to at least meet them, listen to them, to try to know what exactly has happened. But he refused to meet. Maybe he was trying to study. Maybe he was trying to study in order to enable himself to reply to them and preserve for the best use of our future generations. Now, he also said that since they were all measured and identified, I couldn't have done any more. Friends, I am sharing the name of the villages which he has himself referred. What did he say? He said that the CM also said that he understood the villagers were being emotional, but pointed out that theirs were not on the list of the disputed villages in the 2011 report submitted to Assam. It is self-explanatory. You are talking about the villages which have been clearly indicated they are disputed and rest are not disputed. Why you unnecessarily drag the areas which are not disputed at all? You are not supposed to engage in discussion with Assam on the areas which is not disputed or are in dispute. Is it because by feigning ignorance he wanted to fulfill the overall demand of the counterpart for whatever reasons best known to him? Therefore, lots of questions are required to be answered by the government. I have been watching, I have been following, including the response of other political parties which are in government. I have also seen that UDP has expressed their reservation. They should come out openly rather than playing to the gallery. All other political parties also have the responsibility to protect the interests of our people, to protect the interests of the state, and particularly when it comes to the land, to defend and protect and preserve the integrity of our borders. Yes, we belong to the same great nation, but please understand that these land which we are talking about are inherited from our forefathers by our people who have the responsibility to preserve and protect them. And that's why for politicians as their representative, we are duty bound to voice our resentment, opposition, and also to oppose tooth and nail. If there is a dispute for one plot, why will you touch the other plot? This is how we solve and resolve problems pertaining to any dispute pertaining to any land. Now here, you look at this, which is part of Meghalaya. If he says that he is helpless because of the documentation that was submitted during our time, why did he give those areas which forms part and parcel of the claim as per the documentation that has been submitted? Here you will see Machapara, part of claim of 2011, given to Assam. Yes. If he is saying that, okay, whatever is part of the claim I have kept and I have not given, this is a glaring example of his lie. Either he has not gone through or he intends to lie. Then you look at areas which are outside the proposed 36 plus total is how much? I think 36.51 square kilometer in as far as the total area in these 6 areas of difference is concerned. He has gone beyond it. He has gone beyond this 36 square kilometer. He has allowed this discussion to go beyond this 36 square kilometer. They have gone to those areas which were not included in these areas of difference. That's why the area has not been indicated, and which are located well within the state of Meghalaya. So no dispute. Even those areas he has very happily agreed to give to Assam. You will see, for example, I will tell you, in Tharabari sector, Malang Salbari, well within Meghalaya, and it is part and parcel of the villages as per the general census 2011. And this Salbari village does not find its place in the list of villages under the general census in Assam, in the counterpart area, in the block Boko CNRD block area. Okay, Salbari. And it is well within Meghalaya. And it is under the Nonglam Sardarship. Will he say that in respect of Khanapara, this map is drawn by Mukul Sangma, that's why I have given to Assam? Huh? What is the purpose of measuring? To indicate that this is the area where we have the areas of difference. And we are supplementing our claim with valid documents. various notifications to say that, look, this is ours, this belongs to Meghalaya. So give it and then let us resolve. The purpose of the claim is to ensure that what we claim, they agree, and what is under adverse possession, also what is ours, be given. Now here one thing, the give and take. I think everyone knows what is the meaning of give and take, but still I was confused, so I tried to again go to dictionary and find out what is give and take. Give and take. Give and take. Give and take has to be both sides. No. Tell me what has been given by Assam. One area, tell me. What has been given by Assam? All the areas of difference and which have been claimed by Meghalaya, out of whatever has been claimed by Meghalaya, has been given to Assam. There is not even one particular area which has been given to Meghalaya. Everywhere where they have indicated, they have still divided, point so and so with Assam, point so and so with Meghalaya. So that means Assam, certain areas, now you want certain areas which are within our claim. If Assam, for whatever reasons, think that okay, for administrative convenience or whatever other background to justify the overall laid-down principle which were considered as the parameters to be followed. Now based on that, if they are saying that, look, I think this particular location, this particular area should come to Assam, then there has to be negotiation, then you give that one to Meghalaya. Huh? There are many areas which have got alienated from our original tribal land during the time of British. We have not gone beyond what has been part and parcel during the time of creation of the state. So friends, that's why I'm saying, even the basic principle of give and take. I remember one of the regional committee's chairman in West Khasils, the minister PhD. Promptly he was saying there is no other way but give and take. Tell me what he has recommended to take from Assam. Not even one. They have given everything. So even these
That the MDA government has become a victim of manipulation. So is the government falling into a political trap by the Assam CM?
Now it is up to them to analyze and interpret. I have already indicated how they should analyze and interpret. How many times they have met at the level of Chief Minister? How many times? This itself indicates that who has done the job and who has said yes to all what has been formulated, formatted, the whole areas which should go to Assam, which should go to Meghalaya.
Many are exploring legal options, so whether you will also join the mandapa.
See, when we determine the interested border, the ultimate responsibility is vested upon the parliament. Okay. So therefore, it must be understood by all concerned. No need to play to the gallery. I repeat, no need to play to the gallery, because any interested border will have to be determined by an act of law passed by the parliament. Therefore, this particular issue has to be taken politically. It has to be people's voice, people's movement, and must be responded to by all the political parties who think that they have a sense of responsibility, and therefore they must keep up to their, that commitment to really speak on behalf of people. Who are we? We are elected representatives. We are public representatives. We speak on behalf of our people. Therefore, it is not only for Dr. Mukul to speak on behalf of the people. It is also their job, who are in other political parties, who may be in the government, who may not be in the government. Even for all other people who are concerned about the interests of the people and interests of the state, and the tendency of the government to compromise them and surrender them. We have to be all concerned.
So are you asking the coalition partners?
Ganesh Nagar, 0.40 square kilometer, all given to Assam, 0 to Meghalaya. How many areas has gone to Assam? And I tell you, out of these 2.29 square kilometer of high valued land on the vicinity of Guwahati city, they have given Assam 1.79 square kilometer and Meghalaya retained 0.50 square kilometer. And he dares to say that he has not given anything to Assam. Then in Ratachera, 4.78 square kilometer, well documented and claimed for Meghalaya, given to Assam. So how many areas have been given to Assam? You count. But the Chief Minister dares to give a figure saying that out of 23, 21 has come to Meghalaya and only 2 has gone to Assam. How many are there? I give you the well-scripted list of these areas along with the areas measured. And most important part is that now the Chief Minister himself says that he's saying that the then government had submitted a list of 23 locations. How many locations have I read? It is only 23. How many locations I have read? I will be giving you the copy. So he has not read it well. Because as I have said, in course of my submission, as a matter of caution, that please have an in-depth understanding. Indirectly, that means he should have interpreted that Dr. Mukul Sangma, the former Chief Minister, the leader of the opposition in the August House, was telling him that he has reasons to believe that the Chief Minister is not trying to understand the complex problem associated with this contentious issue. And this is the proof. The gentleman doesn't try to understand before signing an MOU of this highly sensitive nature, which revolves around the most precious resources of our people, the land, and the land which belongs to our people and which we have inherited from our forefathers and which we are duty bound. Kamrup district, at the time when the notification for the purpose of, in the pretext of administrative convenience, the land of the Nonglang Sardarship was divided. Okay. As I have said, referred to the alienation of our tribal land, which has already taken place prior to independence. So, the part which remained within the jurisdiction of the United Khasis and Hills Autonomous District Council is the one we are talking about, Gijang Reserve Forest, given to Assam. 8.47 square kilometer. Then another one which is not inhabited by anybody, that area along Gizang, which again forms 1.12 square kilometer, given to Assam, which are well within the domain of the said Sardarship. Then you will again see another part which is completely unacceptable. Jimeri Govt, part of claim of Meghalaya in our well documented claim, given to Assam. Then Linkhung, part of our claim, given to Assam. How many are you counting? The whole area of 0.02 square kilometers is given in respect of Linkhung to Assam. And in Jimeri Govt, 0.99 square kilometer, the whole area is given to Assam. Then you have this very important sector, Khanapara Pilankata sector. Yesterday you have seen all the headmen coming. What have they said? What they have said is self-explanatory. They are their testimony. Dr. Mukul doesn't have to further elaborate on this. But I would like to indicate the figure of areas which has been given completely to Assam. Koinadora, 0.22 square kilometer well documented as part and parcel and integral part of our land. All 0.22 square kilometer given to Assam. Then you have Patharkushi, where you have 0.37 square kilometer of land completely given to Assam. 0 to Meghalaya. Then Khanapara, the area where we have the areas Khanapara, the area where we have the areas of difference is 0.27 square kilometer. Out of this 0.27 square kilometer of area which is considered as areas of difference or areas under dispute and claimed by the state government of Meghalaya as part of documentation submitted in 2011, 0.27 square kilometer, the whole area is given to Assam. Khanapara, the frontage of our state, which makes our presence so predominantly felt as you enter Meghalaya, this important area. Then Barapathar, part of our claim, well documented, 0.29 square kilometer, all given to Assam. Waterfalls, contiguity, natural contiguity, and well within the area of the Nonglang Sardarship, and this is a village which finds itself amongst the least of the census villages under Mauson Road CNRD block as per the 2011 general census, and it doesn't find its name under Boko CNRD block in Assam. Now they have signed, this area has proposed to be pushed to Assam. Then you will see again Nam Tarabari, so well within Meghalaya. We don't consider it as an area of dispute. Then Watre Rongcham, well within Meghalaya, we don't consider it as an area of dispute. Garojan, we don't include it as part and parcel of the areas of difference. Damrangkhona, well within Meghalaya, given to Assam. Now you calculate the number of villages. Damrangkhona, Garojan, Borsum, Watre Rongcham, Nam Charabari, Malang Salbari. How many? Is it only 2? Is it only 2? He is counting what has gone to Assam as 2, as per his statement. And many other. You will see again Malang Joypur. Please understand that there are villages which have similar name both in Assam and Meghalaya. Joypur forms part and parcel of the rather integral part of Meghalaya. Meghalaya Joypur. Then there is another which is contiguous, which is Assam Joypur. Therefore, in the census, you will see Joypur appearing in the list of the villages under the General Census 2011 in Meghalaya and also in Assam. See? So Assam Joypur is there, Meghalaya Joypur is there. Now he is giving the Meghalaya Joypur to Assam. Then how many has been counted now? Then Hohuapara, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In one sector alone. Where is 3? Where is 2? Then you will see in Gizang sector, Malchapara, part of the claim, well documented within Meghalaya, given to Assam. Salbari, it's an integral part of Malchapara. It's an extended locality, well within Meghalaya, given to Assam. Then Gijang Reserve Forest. You have to understand that Gijang Reserve Forest has 2 parts. Then you talk about people's will. Are we not witnessing the anger and opposition to this decision? Is it not people's will? So where is the people's will? And people's will on what basis? People's will also have to be based on the historical background, historical perspective. Given the fact that our land holding system itself is very complex. When you have a particular land of the Hima, now you have within the Hima, you have rights and you have the subjects and the villages. who have been given the right to have right over the land and reside and do all types of activity, and in other words, to have ownership right over the land. But still, the complexity that involves in this 6 scheduled area land is that in spite of the right over land by the subjects, the land in terms of the territorial integrity of one particular Hima or one particular clan has to be protected and cannot be alienated. You understand? There is a complexity which is associated with ownership in respect of our, say, in Garo Hills also. If there is one particular clan land, there are also other villages within the clan land. They reside together. They protect the land together. They fight to protect the land together. There is a historical background. Because only the clan alone cannot fight when there is an invasion, when there is some enemies trying to snatch land. That's why there was a system where the clan always used to say, okay, stay together, be in my Akhang land, so that in the event of any occasion when we need to fight, we fight together. So here, therefore, the complexity that is associated is that you have the responsibility to understand the territorial integrity and the need to protect the territorial integrity of our tribal land, the Himas, the Sardarship, this Akhang land in respect of Garo Hills, the Doloi, the lands under different Dolois in Giant Hills. So these are complex problems which we have to understand. Now, therefore, this people's will cannot be that you ask the tenant without asking the owner of the land. It is as bad as that without asking the consent of the owner, you will ask the tenant. Salbari. Salbari is part and parcel of the village which is as per the general census within Mausanur block. And it doesn't find its place in the counterpart, Boko CNRD block. And these particular areas do not fall under the areas of difference. That's why you don't have to indicate. Now, from what I can understand after my analysis is that Assam has prepared a list. Assam has prepared a list of which should go to Meghalaya and which should go to Assam. And they have just signed. They have signed. Have you got any such exercise, any copy or any presentation from the government of Meghalaya to indicate that they have done their job? What has been prepared by the counterpart under the leadership of smart, aggressive Chief Minister from Assam, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, who understand the whole background of these the background of these areas of difference. I have said that's why they have interest to resolve while these people are in power. I have also said that in 2011, after we submitted, what happened? Assam was delaying. Assam was delaying why? Because they knew fully well that that time our government wouldn't have succumbed to this surrender, nor could have been we gullible to such maneuver, such manipulation. Now this government has been a victim of manipulation because of complete ignorance, because of lack of commitment, because of their lack of commitment to protect the interests of our people, our tribal people, our Jat Banriu. It's a very serious and unacceptable thing that has happened. You will be surprised to see develop that either there is a malified predetermined intention from the government to arrive at a solution which goes against the interests of the state of Meghalaya and the people of Meghalaya, but benefits the counterpart. Or otherwise, the only other interpretation is that the incumbent government and the leaders thereof, the leadership thereof, have not understood the complexity of the problem. Because why I'm saying this, you look at the parameters. The parameters or the mutually agreed principles they quote: historical perspective, ethnicity of local population, contiguity with boundary, people's will, administrative convenience. Now, all these villages which are part and parcel of those villages or areas considered as falling within the areas of difference with our counterpart. Historical background is what? Even before independence, many of our Himalayas have been alienated because of various notifications given by the then British government prior to independence in the name of administrative convenience, taking many of our Himalayans and tribal lands with Kamru. So there has been already an alienation of land. And that is precisely the reason why, after the creation of the state, when the demarcation was attempted by the Survey of India, post-creation of the state, our forefathers, the leaders then, the people from across the state refused to accept, therefore, the areas of difference. That is the historical background. Okay. The historical background pertains to also the fact that all those areas which are being claimed by Assam forms part and parcel, an integral part of our tribal land, our Himalayan, the land which our people have inherited from our forefathers. So this is the historical perspective. Now, ethnicity of local population. Now, what is that parameter which they have embarked upon when we are talking about ethnicity? All these people who are now being pushed to Assam, they belong to which ethnic background? Then contiguity with boundary. You are talking about the contiguity of the boundary along with the Himalayas, the land belonging to different CMCs, whether it is Malam CMC or whether it is Nongspong CMC or your Hima under to preserve and protect them. And that's why for politicians as their representative, we are duty bound to voice our resentment, opposition, and also to oppose tooth and nail to ensure that this unacceptable agreement is not forced upon us. Administrative convenience in order to ensure that we are able to administer those areas, we have embarked upon a number of initiatives, including creation of districts, including creation of civil subdivisions, including creation of blocks, CNRD blocks, administrative units. These are the responsibilities that every government has shouldered upon themselves. Now, therefore, what I'm trying to say is that there are two things. One is that the incumbent government and the leadership in the government has not tried to understand the complexities associated with this contentious issue. Another part is, another interpretation which is possible is that there was already a predetermined decision taken at the level of the two chief ministers to allow some of our places to go to Assam. Now, I want to again come to this another end to substantiate my analysis of the understanding of the chief minister and people in the government in respect to this highly contentious issue. Now, what did the chief minister say yesterday? I read the news. The chief minister says that some of the villages which have been given to Assam were not part of the disputed land. You know, why you go beyond the disputed land? You are to resolve problems pertaining to the disputed land. The areas of difference does not include those areas where you don't have dispute. That is the reason why I'm saying that you have to understand the complexities associated with this and how you interpret. Areas which are not part and parcel of the areas falling under the areas of difference or dispute have been also listed and given to Assam. You have to go back to the census. There are villages which are included as per the census, general census What are those villages which falls under Meghalaya based on these general census? And what are those villages which do not find itself in the list of the census villages in Assam? Have they taken into cognizance of those aspects? They must live true to their commitment. Every political party, during election, what do they say? They say that they are all there for the Jatpanryu, for the people. It is something which we all promised during the election, that we will stand by the people, will not be found wanting. We will be seen as available at the time of difficulty. Now today, is it not a time of difficulty? Is it not a time when people are being subjected to go through that agonizing, mentally agonizing experiences? I spoke to few people. Their faces tells the story. They are being subjected to so much of psychological stress and strain. Senior citizens shedding tears in front of you. You just put yourself in their shoes. You know, the wearer of the shoes knows where the shoe pinches. So therefore, in democracy, people look at us. People look at the leaders who belong to the different political parties. And we must not let our people down. We must not betray our people.